own, number 54, Brad Lidge! Brad, welcome. Thanks for coming out today. Really appreciate it. Just see a quick introduction. You got Specialist Laura over there on the far left. He's a wrestler. Specialist Jacobson, she's a wrestler as well. You got Specialist Cesare right here to the right. He's a track and field athlete. And this is Major Dan Brown. He is a marathon runner as well. These guys are all part of the Army World Class Athlete Program. Okay, I know that the fans here want to talk to you, so I'm just going to ask you one question, very briefly.
You bet.
Now, I know that you're here today because you're part of the Phillies. We love you. Thank you so much for being part of what you did, not just in 2008, but what you've done your entire career since you've been in Philadelphia. You helped us all live a dream that we haven't seen since 1980. I remember the day that the Phillies won in '80 was my 17th birthday, and you brought it back. You helped bring it back. Thank you so much. But here's the kicker. No, it's not. But here's the thing. I found out as part of preparation for this event that you actually have a connection to the Army as well. What is it?
Well, actually, my roommate in college, Nate Martin, was I went to the University of Notre Dame, and he was in the ROTC program there in the Army, and one of the hardest working guys I've ever met in my life, and you know, he was actually pretty inspiring for me. That's where I think I developed, you know, most of my work ethic as we were roommates and stuff. And but I have a brother-in-law in the Marines. I have my best friends in the Air Force. But obviously, probably between all three of those guys, I probably spent the most time with Nate. And he's actually in intelligence right now, and he's a great guy. So I've had a good experience for sure.
Outstanding, outstanding. Okay, I know the crowd wants to talk to you. Who's got the first question for Brad Lidge? Got a mic right over there for that young man.
Please hold my scout.
How does it feel to pitch in the World Series and win it?
That was probably, you know, in my life, that's the most amazing thing that I've ever been able to be a part of on the baseball field. And people always ask me, you know, to describe it. It's really hard to put into words. I mean, the one thing I can tell you is you spend your whole life working for something, and then when it finally happens, it kind of takes your breath away, and it's very hard to describe in words. But it's a feeling of accomplishment that really is. You know, it's what you work for every single day for your whole career, and then finally to get it, you know, you feel really lucky and really blessed. And there's a lot of people in the game that, you know, that have played baseball that have never made it to a World Series or never were able to get there, and then to win one too is just it's a pretty awesome experience for me. And I always told people, you know, this is the luckiest thing in my life was coming to Philadelphia and being part of this team, because anywhere else it wouldn't have happened. So I feel very fortunate.
That's great. Yeah, give it a round. Come on, man. Give it a round. That's what I'm talking about. Any other questions? Over here. Feel free, please. Just raise your hand if you got a question. Raise your hand if you got a question, and if you're seated, please stand up. There you go, young man.
All right.
You got a thing. No pressure.
Did it feel good when you won the World Series?
You know, that was, like I said, one of the most memorable experience I ever had as a baseball player. And, you know, I really hope we can do it again this year. I mean, that experience is pretty great. That's what we're working for to do, is to have that experience again this year.
Okay, any questions? Please raise your hand. Got one in the back right there. Right here? Okay, go ahead.
Brad, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you did for Philadelphia, because you were a big, big, major part. It is a team, but you were the one that really got us that little bit extra there. But also, I want to know how you're doing.
Yeah. So I'm, you know, I've been battling with a little bit of elbow injury right now. I played catch yesterday. To give you the most recent update, I'm going to be throwing again today. And if that goes good today, then it should be no more than maybe about a week away, maybe 10 days at the most. And I think, you know, so far so good. Everything, we've done a good job getting me back on my feet, and the trainers have done a really good job. So hopefully no more than 10 days. And you know, like they say, it's better than this time now than in September and October, so I'll make sure that I'm ready when I come back and I don't have to miss any more time.
That's great. All right. I saw a question because there's a young lady over here in the green shirt. Did you have a question?
I agree with that girl. The World Series was all you. I think that, without you, we wouldn't have won. You were great, the perfect season and everything. When you won, there's a picture, a puzzle, actually, my husband put together. It was 500 pieces, and we framed it and put it in the basement, of you and Carlos jumping into each other's arms. Is Carlos your best friend, or who do you hang out with from there? We met Brian Matson a few weeks ago, and he was cool, but I was just wondering. Are you and Carlos really tight, or who's your best friend from the Phillies? Are you guys, do you hang out?
Well, we do. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, we're around each other like every day of the year, it seems. So, but we are really good friends. And as far as Carlos goes, I'd never met him before I came to the Phillies, obviously, a couple years ago. And we've had a really good relationship. We work together, obviously, pitcher and catcher, but also, we go to dinner together and we'll hang out and get lunch too. So we're pretty good friends. I think what ends up happening, though, on a team is a lot of the same guys hang out together. So like the starting pitchers will hang out together, and the bullpen guys will hang out together. So I am really good friends with Brian Madsen, Chad Durbin, guys that have been out in the bullpen for a while. But we get to know all of each other, and I hang out with everybody, really. I mean, but Carlos is definitely a good friend of mine, and I really like Carlos a lot. I mean, he's one of the guys that works the hardest of anybody, and he doesn't take anything for granted. So guys like that are why our team is so good. But I've been fortunate to be able to be friends and hang out with a lot of guys on the team.